right, Pasadenans and heroes everywhere. It is I, your friendly neighborhood Rabbi John Carrier, here for PJTC presents RabbiChat. We are live streaming on twitch.tv/Pasadena Jewish, as well as the Pasadena Jewish Temple and Center YouTube page. And last but not least, the Pasadena Jewish Temple and Center Facebook page. So check us out on one of those platforms. Whatever questions you have that remain in your Passover preparations, please ask those in the chat today. Don't know if we're going to get another chance. Actually, this year, chill pills are kosher for Passover. What do I mean by that? It's only fair if you see my face while I'm giving you my explanation. Really delighted to see everybody who's here today. Let's see who is in the multi-chat. See some friends. Trig B says, good afternoon, folks, here on the YouTube arena. And Ruthie Honey says, hey. And Trig B says, whoop, whoop. All right, this is getting a little exciting. It sounds like everybody's on the floor. All right, nice to see you, Ruthie. Ruthie, thank you so much for leading that great Zoom call this morning. That was really cool. I don't know, it was strange. I felt like a little bit like the teacher had popped into the students' lounge and was like, everybody be cool, teacher's here. We don't know. But it was really nice to see everybody. Kay Dixie, nice to see you in the chat on Twitch. So I'm really excited. Passover's coming up. Tonight is a big night for me personally, because tonight, the optimal, I think, it's my own personal opinion. Other rabbis and cooks may vary. My own personal opinion is that it's best to cook your brisket at least like a day ahead, not much more than that, but like a day ahead of time. So if you're going to eat the brisket on Wednesday night, you should make the brisket on Tuesday night, and then you slice it, and then you let it sit in its juices for about as long as you have and then you heat it up for the Seder. So let's see what's going on here. K Dixie says, hi, pals. And K Dixie's popped over into the YouTube. That's good, too. So tonight I'm making brisket. This is an annual tradition for me. Many, many years ago, when I first was making Passover brisket for the first time, I think this was my wife and I had either just gotten married, or maybe we were about to get married, and we were having our very first Passover where we were hosting a Seder, and I needed a brisket recipe. Luckily, we're big fans of the Today Show. I get no money from the Today Show people, by the way. We're big fans of the Today Show. That's how we kind of start our day, see what's going on in the world, check the weather and traffic before we head out into the world. Traffic. Remember traffic? That's adorable. So this particular Passover, they had Emeril Lagasse. This was like the height of his fame. Emeril, the boom guy, putting spices and everything and saying boom a lot, like he's some sort of demolitions expert. So we were getting ready for Passover. I see Emeril Lagasse on the Today Show making a Passover brisket. So I immediately go on to a website. Again, this is whatever they look like, 15 years ago, and found his Passover brisket recipe. The sauce, really basic. I'm not telling any secrets because it's publicly available. The sauce is sort of 3 equal parts of brown sugar, ketchup, and something called chili sauce. Now, I didn't know what chili sauce was. I was living in Minnesota. They don't really have chili sauce in Minnesota so much. Like, I'm a big fan of Minnesota cuisine, lots of casseroles, lots of rectangular shaped dishes. But as one of my native Minnesota friends says, if you really want to spice up your recipe, add a little cream of mushroom soup. And so, I'm going to sneeze. That was so funny. I'm going to sneeze. And so they didn't really have chili sauce like they have in Los Angeles or the other coast. And so I experimented with different things. One year I tried sriracha, which is not the same thing. Chili sauce, I later found out, is basically just slightly spicy ketchup. So it's ketchup plus slightly spicier ketchup plus brown sugar. And instead of slightly spicier ketchup, I used sriracha, like a cup of brown sugar, a cup of ketchup, and a cup of sriracha for an 8-pound brisket. Did the trick. The following year, I wanted to try, I don't know if that's the chili sauce we were looking for. So I was at the Kosher grocery store. Oh gosh. What was that place? Now I can't think of the name. It's since closed down. It was like the one Kosher grocery store in St. Louis Park, Minnesota. a big kind of Jewish enclave of the Midwest. And they had the best challah there. I shouldn't talk about challah. I'm going to miss it very much. But I said, I'm looking for chili sauce. They didn't have chili sauce. So they said, maybe you're thinking of schug. And schug is basically like if you had guacamole and you made it entirely out of, instead of avocado, you made it entirely out of jalapenos. That's schug. It's basically just like... it's basically just hot peppers and like nuclear waste pulsed aggressively in a food processor. So I tried that. Very spicy brisket, by the way. One year I tried the chili sauce that you get in like the Asian section of the supermarket, like that Thai chili sauce that's like 95% corn syrup with little flakes of red pepper in there. That was pretty good. It was kosher for Passover corn syrup, so it was just some kind of weird suspended sugar. So this year I may go back to sriracha. I found a good kosher for Passover sriracha. We'll see how that goes. But the important thing to know is tonight is brisket night. I was up late last night working on this really important project to me. Cantor Ruth and I of PJTC fame last week recorded a Seder. And, it was like a full kind of model Seder. We didn't have real food there because that, didn't want to waste food in these times. But we had some props and things. And Cantor Ruth and I and our davening team, the musicians that help us out on Fridays and Saturdays, got together safely and recorded a Passover Seder. And so I was really hoping to share that link today. Turns out when you make a video that's an hour and 10 minutes, it takes something like, at least on my laptop, 7 hours to render. So stay tuned for that. I wanted to share the link today. That's probably going to come out first thing tomorrow morning. So I was up late last night editing and rendering this video, and some a little bit punchy. I don't know if it shows. Got some bags under the eyes. Can't go shopping with those anymore because it's not going to the store this week. But so I was up late last night. I'm going to be up late. I'm always up late on brisket night. That's just how it is. Usually can't really get started when you're wrestling an 8-pound brisket. Kind of got to wait for the kids to go to bed. You need all that space. And so tonight is brisket night. I'm excited. I'll probably start the soup tonight too. I have let a soup go overnight before. I made like an 8-hour chicken broth. So that could be interesting. It comes out just... So I'm sorry, my mouth is starting to water. Hey, Carla, nice to see you here. Carla J is in the house. And Melissa Ann, entirely out of peppers. Oh, no. It's Passover, and we're out of peppers. Pick a peck of pickled peppers for Passover. So really happy to see everybody here. I wanted to give you some psak halacha. I shouldn't take that term lightly because I take it very seriously. That means a Jewish legal decision, maybe at least by metaphor. L'shem Hinuk, for the sake of educating people. This year, I'm personally declaring chill pills to be kosher for Passover. Now, these are metaphorical chill pills. I just want to tell everybody to chill out for Passover this year. And I'm not endorsing the use of narcotics in any stretch of the imagination. I do not need to contribute to the opioid epidemic. There's enough epidemics out there as it is. But what I want to tell you is you are welcome. You are free. Good thought for Passover. You are free to relax. And I know I've said this on this channel before in the past week, but I think it bears repeating because I'm still getting phone calls from people, and they were only letting a few people in the store at a time, and people were still throwing elbows. It's going to be weird because instead of having 20 people, I'm having 3 people or 2 people, or maybe I'm having a Seder by myself. And that's hard. Like I have to say that something like 70% of Jews in America attend a Passover Seder, either host one at their home or go to somebody else's. This is the single most widely observed Jewish holiday. And it's about getting together for so many people. Like, it's not Passover unless you're with other people. And so many people are in a position where, maybe they live by themselves. Maybe they're empty nesters, or maybe they're just single and they normally go to somebody else's house for Passover, and that somebody else can't have them over. Or maybe they invite a bunch of people to their house and those other people can't come to their house. And so it feels weird. It feels sad. It makes people feel sad, and I'm just naming it. And yet, I have to tell you, it's going to be okay. There are all sorts of great resources. The one thing I can say about this whole pandemic that has a bit of a silver lining to it, I have never in my Jewish life or Jewish career, I guess I do have a Jewish career as a rabbi and all. I've been a rabbi for 6 years, in school for a bunch of years before that, been Jewish for about 20 years. I've never seen such creativity in the Jewish world as I have seen this year. I've never seen such an abundance of resources. How to have a Seder by yourself, how to connect with other people for a Seder through Zoom. And some of the creativity has been legal creativity in the sense that, there's always people just pushing the boundaries of, what fits into Jewish tradition, what does not fit into Jewish tradition. People who are there were probably Zoom Seders last year. I'd be surprised if there weren't people who were Facebook Living their Seders last year. Now it's the thing. It's like the in thing to do. And it's not just for liberal Jews, Reform Jews. It's not just for secular Jews, or as one of my friends describes herself, gastronomic Jews. Jews from across the spectrum of traditional observance are going to be connecting electronically, where in the past they might have been really uncomfortable doing that for Passover. And maybe they're uncomfortable doing it this year too, but they're doing it anyway. Why? Because it's so important for people, A, to get together, and B, to not physically get together, right? This is a year of abundance of creativity, abundance of options. And so I want you to know that when you go into this thinking, I don't have enough, or even worse, I am not enough. My Passover isn't Jewish enough or kosher enough. And I'm sorry to dwell on this, but I'm still getting calls about this. I'm still sensing anxiety in my own community about, is my Seder going to be Seder enough? Is my Passover going to be Passover enough? It doesn't have all the things or people involved that I've grown so accustomed to. And I'm here to write you a note. Guys, I'm writing you a rabbinic prescription. We don't get to do that. That's not a real thing. I'm not a doctor, but I'm giving you permission to relax, to say this year's Seders are going to be what this year's Seders are. I may be pushed to try new things that I haven't been comfortable with before in order to stay connected with other people. Maybe many years past, I was observing the Ashkenazic tradition of not eating kitniot, of not having rice or legumes or stuff. But man, I just could not get to the store, and I happened to have a bunch of rice on hand. It is better that you save your life by not going out shopping. It's better that you save your life, your family's life, your friend's life by not being in those public spaces and making do with what you have, not starving yourself, but also not sacrificing your life for the tradition. It says in Deuteronomy that the Torah was given to us to live by, right? God says, I'm giving you this book to live by. And the rabbis a long time ago kind of filled in the rest of that sentence, to live by and not to die by. And this is the basis of the principle of pikuach nefesh, where anything that is a risk to our physical safety, and many authorities include mental well-being as well in that physical safety definition. You are not to sacrifice your physical safety, your health, or anybody else's health or life just to keep a mitzvah, right? And I want to say that's true for out of the 613, 610 of them can be set aside in order to save your life. The other ones are things that you wouldn't want to do anyway. Ask me later. But let me just tell you, this year you have my permission, you have I'm going to say the entire spectrum of Jewish legal scholars' permission to make the best of the situation that you are in. And I do mean the best. I'm not just saying good enough. Get creative. There's so much stuff out there. You can download a Haggadah. You can make your own Haggadah and download it from Haggadot.com or something like that. There's so many different options that you have this year. So whatever energy you're spending on worrying, I didn't get the right kind of horseradish, or I don't have, 18 boxes of matzah. And just to allay some matzah fears out there, The only thing that you have to have for like if you want to observe like one of the core mitzvot of Passover, and that's eating leavened bread, you only have to take a bite. Like at the Seder, you take like one bite, and that is fulfilling your obligation for eating matzah for the whole week, right? You might want to spend the rest of the week not eating like bread and pizzas and beer and stuff. That's that's however you do it. But to eat matzah, you only need a bite of matzah, right? At most, maybe you only need one box. Maybe this is the year you try to get through Passover with one box of matzah instead of like the container of matzah. And I'm going to throw this out there. This is a risk. My housemates might be mad at me for this. I do have more than one box of matzah. If there are people who are within, say, an hour's drive of me who need a box of matzah, let me know. Hit me up on YouTube or on Facebook. If you live, let's say, in the Los Angeles area, Orange County might be a stretch. I don't like going, and no offense to my Orange County friends. I've got some good Orange County friends who are on here. I don't like going to Orange County for nothing. But if it means delivering a box of matzah, I have limited supply, but maybe two or three extra boxes. Is there anything such thing as extra matzah? It's just called matzah. So I've got a couple of extra boxes of matzah. If somebody really needs some matzah, let me know, and I will deliver it to your door before Passover. And or that's a pledge that I'm making. We'll see if anybody takes me up on it. So Patricia Huff, Good Wisdom Rabbi, thank you, appreciate you. Thank you so much, Patricia. That's really kind. So Kay Dixie says, we're in such a different situation this year. It's almost like the Torah on the road. I don't know if that's a Jack Kerouac reference or it's just like traveling Passover. Kay Dixie says, my theme this year is Passover in India, using special items for the tablescape that our daughter brought from India. Oh, that's really nice. I like that a lot. So look, if it's the choice between making one more shopping trip and having a Passover that's not like the Passover you're used to, go with the dare I say, the novel Passover this year. That is the choice of life, right? It's again from Deuteronomy. God says, "I put before you a choice. Follow these commandments and live. Don't follow these commandments and die." And then it gives us the imperative: choose life, right? And by following these commandments, I don't mean going to 8 different stores to find all the right ingredients for your Emerald Lagasse Passover brisket. I'm going to be improvising a little bit this year. Thank God I was able to get a brisket, and our family's going to be fed for a week on that brisket because I don't, it's just the 4 of us, and I don't know how to make a small brisket. So, but there will be some improvisations in the ingredients, and there will be improvisations at our Passover Seder this year. Good thing I took all those improv classes back in Minneapolis. Thank you, Dudley Riggs and the Brave New Workshop. So really excited to celebrate this Passover. It's going to be different. It's going to be a little weird. That's going to be okay. And so however you need to do it to get through it, you're going to be okay. I trust you. If you have questions, pop them in the chat here. Reach out to me at PJTC. I'm happy to guide you through this as best I can. You call the PJTC main number. That routes to my cell phone nowadays because we're not spending as much time in the office. But I really appreciate everybody being here to learn with me in these live sessions, how kind and cool everybody is in the chat with each other. So with that, I'm just going to look through the chat, make sure I didn't miss anything. Michelle Masjetti says, thank you, Rabbi Carrier. Michelle, share this with all your friends. I know you've been talking to some people who've had a little concernicus about this year's Passover. Share this with your friends. If anybody knows somebody who is concerned about this Passover, whether it's going to be good enough, whether they're going to be good enough, whether their Seder is going to be good enough, share this message with them. Just share it on however Facebook and YouTube lets you share stuff, and Twitch, if that's your jam, certainly is mine. So let's see. Patricia Huff says, Chag Sameach. Very nice to have you here, Patricia. Chag Sameach. Nawa 64. Again with no guests, much more relaxing. So take advantage of that. Like Passover can be really, I want to say this about a holiday that I love. It can be maddening, right? All the shopping, all the prep, all the work that goes into having 8, 10, 20, 30. I had some hard knocks in the past few weeks. got laid off, had some health problems, and said to me, I feel so free right now. Right, I'm not on that hamster wheel of all my different commitments, and I get to kind of relax. Now, I know there are people who would rather be working right now, who are on ice, and that stinks. We're going to have to support each other through this. So, but this person who I thought was having a really tough time was just glowing with good energy and was just a ray of sunshine in my day. So let this be the year that you get to sit back and relax. Let this be the year that you don't wind up hating Passover, even though you want to love Passover. I've had years like that where it's like, I love being Jewish. I love passing these traditions on to my family, but man, it's exhausting sometimes. And man, people start fights. Oh, you're doing the chicken soup wrong, or that's not how you make a flourless chocolate cake, or just tensions that flare over a normal Passover. This year, you get to let go of those. So that's my blessing for you, is that you have a Passover that is exactly where you are. First, you have everything that you need. You are everything that you need to be to go into this and relive the experience of going from captivity to freedom. And Lord knows we need that right now. Right? You get to rehearse this origin story of our people. You get to do it with what you have where you are right now. No other accoutrement needed. And you get to chill. And that's why I say this year, without, and this is entirely metaphorical, not endorsing the use of non-prescribed narcotics, chill pills are kosher for Passover this year. You heard it here first from your friendly neighborhood rabbi. With that, I'm going to close out today's live session. I just want to make sure there aren't any burning questions. Ruthie Honey says, you all make me feel so much better during this time. Love our community. Really happy to hear that. That's awesome. So let's see. Nawa64 says, it's going to be great. We were once slaves. Now we are free. If you can get through these next few days and the next week of Passover and feel like a free person in a time of so much uncertainty and, frankly, captivity, you have won Passover. Not that we're not handing out trophies or nothing, but it might feel nice to win Passover this year. So I see Kathy's in the house. Chag Sameach, Rabbi. My usual 40 or so Seder is going to be virtual with 50 plus joining in. Love being able to see the whole family with no cooking. Kathy, that's awesome. That's incredible. I just want a little postscript. I know we're about to close out, but I have to say, our attendance at Shabbat services has never been better. Maybe it has in the past. I don't know. I just got there, but we are now seeing more people connect to our Shabbat services through live streaming than we got on most regular Shabbatot, and we're getting all sorts of great feedback about it. If you want to make sure you're tuned into it, every Friday night at 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, every Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time, we are live streaming services from Pasadena Jewish Temple and Center. You can catch that on our stream spot link on our website. You can catch that on our public Facebook page here, and also on our live streaming YouTube page. Love to have you join us for that. But that just made me think of it where if you usually have a Seder for 40 people and now you're going to have 50 because people can join who normally can't be there, take the win. That's awesome. So check that out. Also, just last plug, and then I'm going to get off the air. We are doing Passover morning services on Thursday and Friday at Pasadena Jewish Temple and Center. That is going to be 9:30 a.m. Thursday, 9:30 a.m. Friday, and then the corresponding last couple of days of Passover, we'll have services then too. I think that's Wednesday and Thursday morning of next week. If you've never seen a Passover morning service, because a lot of times it falls during the week and that doesn't work for everybody, this could be your year. So tune in and see those as well. And so, as Kay Dixie says, the food this year won't be the usual, but Passover this year will be spiritually special. Nawa64 says, are you doing this live tomorrow again? I hadn't planned on it. I may come out live just to, once we have our Passover Seder video available, just to announce that. But I think tomorrow I'm probably going to be doing Passover prep at this time. So if I don't see you guys, and I should say y'all, because I don't like using gendered language for a mixed crowd. If I don't see y'all before Passover, Have a wonderful Passover, a Chag Sameach, a festive festival, and a Passover of good health, safety, kavanah, intention, and meaning. And until next time, Pasadenans and heroes everywhere, peace.